Kenyan President William Ruto has urged rich countries to be held accountable for contributing to global warming and for international financial institutions to be revamped to better combat climate change. Despite being the least responsible for carbon emissions, poorer countries, particularly those in Africa, have been impacted disproportionately hard by the consequences of climate change, which has exacerbated droughts and flooding. In an interview on the sidelines of the African Union Conference in the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa, where climate change is a key theme, Ruto said the timing was ripe for a paradigm shift. Hello, and welcome. This is Rain Smith, and you're watching the New Africa channel.
We are at a place where we have no options. Climate change is a daily reality in many parts of the world. And it is not getting better, it is getting worse unless something gives way, unless we have a honest conversation.
We are at a place where we have no options, he told AFP. The situation is not getting better unless something gives way and until we have an honest conversation, he said, urging richer countries and financial institutions to start treating Africa as an asset in climate talks. We want a system that is accountable, that holds the emitters who pollute the world to account. If it is not accountable, then it is corrupt, Ruto said, adding that Africa should not be treated as beggars in climate talks. For years, African nations have demanded that the world's leading polluters pay for the loss and damage caused by their emissions. The most recent round of UN climate talks, held in Egypt last year, agreed on a fund to pay the costs incurred by developing nations because of climate-related natural disasters and consequences such as rising sea levels. Yet activists say the fund remains empty. Yet more must be done, including a strategy to limit planet-warming emissions from fossil fuels, according to Ruto, who chairs the Committee of African Leaders on Climate Change. Continuing the impunity of turning on fossil fuel, turning on coal as is happening today puts the whole globe at risk. Ruto said, "We cannot be that reckless. We cannot be indifferent." According to Kenya's president, Africa must be considered a crucial partner, and the global financial system must be reformed if any results are to be accomplished. Emitters and polluters get better rates for development than us. Is it the case that those who have caused the least pollution are being punished? Ruto queried. Scientists say that droughts, floods, storms, and heat waves will only get stronger and more common due to global warming. The Horn of Africa is one of the most vulnerable regions to climate change, and extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and intense. According to UN estimates, some 22 million people in Ethiopia, Kenya, and Somalia are at risk of becoming hungry because of the worst drought in 4 decades. Residents in the affected areas, who primarily rely on herding and subsistence farming for a living, are witnessing their 6th consecutive poor rainy season since the end of 2020. We haven't made our voice clear. We haven't spoken about this loud enough, Ruto said. The brutal injustice of climate change is on full display with every flood, drought, famine, and heatwave endured on this continent, he added. So, what do you think of our video? Do you William Ruto is right to call for rich Western countries to be held accountable for global warming instead of Africa? Or do you think the problem of global warming is a worldwide issue that involves Africa, regardless of its contribution? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and as always, do subscribe to the New Africa channel for more exciting future videos.